Good morning and welcome. I'm Olivia, and this is Tarot and Coffee with Olivia. I did find my Ram Dass book, so we will be reading. I think we may have read this excerpt before. I'm going to read it again. We may not have. I'm not positive. It's marked. Like the bookmark is there for the next read, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I appreciate you, that I'm grateful for you for being here, all of you. I'm thinking of all your beautiful faces. Um, I do know most of you. In one way or another, we have contacted one another. Um, Not just on Facebook. I know I've interacted with each of you in different ways, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. Okay, so um, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but I have to. I have to tell you how much I love you and appreciate you because it's a big thing. It's a big deal. It's what keeps me coming back every morning, even on days when I'm not feeling so great, which today is better. I'm feeling a lot better today. Thank you for being there for me the past few days. My heart has been very heavy. I mean, my heart is still very heavy, but I do feel like, well, for one thing, you guys have supported me very much, and I really appreciate that. So, I guess let us go ahead and do our, well, let's do our card top. Let's look at our card toppers first, because I have some ones that maybe you haven't seen before, like this little Perrier bottle, which is so cute, and it's really Perrier. It's not vodka disguised as Perrier. It doesn't have the cap on, so I could actually pour it out. Okay, so there's actually no Perrier in there. It's all resin, but acrylic resin. Okay, and the next we have this one reminds me of all the wonderful lunch ladies in the world because it's a milk carton with a smile on it, like the lunch lady saved it special for us. And the next one is Original Horror. It's a book, Grimm's Fairy Tales. We think of fairy tales a lot differently since Disney has come along than they used to be. Fairy tales are actually horror. That's really the point. Are there lessons? And here we have your beautiful iced coffee with the hearts on the top, the cute little hearts in the blue cup. I promise not to make fun of you if you pick that card today. And now we're going to move on to our Journey of Awakening Ram Dass. I'll start here at the bottom of page 7. Oh wait, that's without our ego. Okay, here we go. So this does talk about the ego right here. It's at page 7. It doesn't say ego though in any of my readings right now. Here it starts. You are totally in control of your senses and your thoughts. The alarm clock sounds and captures your attention, draws your awareness to it. But you are not your ears hearing the clock. You are awareness attending to your ears. It's like when you're reading something so absorbing that you fail to hear someone walk into the room. The sound of their steps triggers the processes of hearing, yet you do not hear, for you are busy reading and thinking. Just as you are not your ears hearing, you are not your other senses either. You are not the eyes seeing, the nose smelling, the tongue tasting, the skin feeling. Only your thoughts are left. Here is where most people cannot escape, for they identify totally with their thoughts. They are unable to separate pure awareness from the thoughts that are its objects. Meditation allows you to break this identification between awareness and the objects of awareness. Your awareness is different from both your thoughts and your senses. You can be free to put your awareness where you will, instead of it being grabbed, pushed, and pulled by each sense, impression, and thought. Meditation frees your awareness. A being whose awareness is totally free, who does not cling to anything, is liberated. And Gampapa, now I know I read this before, says, wherever there is attachment associated with it brings endless misery. So, in a way, what this is saying, uh, well, one of the things I wanted to say about freedom is that when you learn to meditate like this, you can actually be free even when you are incarcerated. Those of you that are feeling trapped right now because you can't leave your houses, or those of you that are just feeling like your rights are very infringed upon, I urge you to work on meditation. The people who can't get their minds to stop racing, can't get those thoughts out of their heads. I was one of those people. Meditation, sometimes we use that as an excuse and we say, I can't meditate because of this, because my mind just keeps racing, because I'm an intellectual and I've been educated. And we are not our education. Our egos are not what we have learned. We need to put all that aside, and basically it really helps, particularly much those of us whose minds keeps racing. Yeah, that's a challenge I give to all of you today. Start your meditative process if you haven't already. Get a book, do a YouTube channel, do some guided meditation, do some walking meditation. Um, Start your meditative process, and I promise it may take a while. It may take a year. It took me a while. It took me a long while. You will reach that point of freedom where you can be free regardless of what your government is doing, regardless of what your friends are doing. You really, truly can be free. Um, and it's something you can do for yourself. We're going to start with the cards now. Yeah, I think I've said everything. Oh yeah, I'm probably going to do a little something different on Instagram today. We'll see how it goes. Because of the nature of Instagram, it's difficult to post YouTube videos. So I might be doing that. So if you want to come see me on Insta, do. If you picked the Perrier, then you also picked the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the thing about the Knight of Pentacles, well, obviously he's a knight. So he's all those wonderful things that knights can be. Noble, strong, straightforward, a servant to his king and queen, devoted. With the Knight of Pentacles, when you have this card, the knight knows, he may not know his greatest calling or his highest calling, but he knows his calling that he is following today. He knows what he's supposed to be doing. If you have this card today, I would suggest that you help somebody today, that you use the knowledge and the power that you have to do something small for one of the little guys today. It could be very small. It might mean a whole lot to them, though. So if you picked the Knight of Pentacles, that's what I would say. Pick someone, pick something to do that's very small, something charitable, something helpful, to do for someone. You don't have to put yourself out. It doesn't have to be big. It will be big, but it doesn't have to take a whole lot of energy or money. Now we're going to turn over the milk carton, and we have the moon card, which some of you had yesterday. So one of the first things I want to point out is this little fish crab or lobster that we have down here, a mud bug, whatever he is. He's coming up out of the water. It looks like, to me, like estuary water, so it's connected to the ocean. Remember that the moon does connect us to the ocean in ways that the moon pulls and pushes and creates the tides in the ocean. Also creates our cycles as women. I do believe that the moon affects men as well. It's just not as physically apparent. Women will have their period cycles aligned with the moon. They'll have their babies more often on the full moon when they're not induced. These are facts, guys. The moon really does have a physical bearing on us all, and can make us feel things that we didn't feel, know things that we didn't know. We have dogs in on this card, which represent curiosity, loyalty, love, unconditional love, true unconditional love. Specifically, I'm not sure who those. I know I've looked it up before though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't have that information. Like specifically, what do the dogs mean? I think it's baying at the moon, communicating. The fish crab. Did I say that they're ageless? They don't know how long they live. As soon as they find an old lobster, they say this is the oldest lobster ever. They find one that's older. So if you have this card today, I would say remember your connection to your psychic self. Remember your connection to the moon and the earth. Timeless. Picture the infinity sign. Did I say ancient wisdom? That's what I think of when I think of that lobster. So if you have this card today, just give yourself some time to feel. Feel your emotions. Truly feel them. I had to do that yesterday. Oh, what a chore. I had to cry. Ugh. Hopefully you can not be like me and you can enjoy feeling your emotions and working them out, because that is your assignment today if you pick the moon. The next card with the Grimm's fairy tale, the original horror. Oh, look. It's a Six of Cups. And aren't they cute? They look like they're the kids from the Snow Queen. This card has to do with nostalgia. Also, friendships from the past. I'm not suggesting you literally look up someone from the past, but you could have a conversation with them, call them on the phone, hit them up on Facebook, or you can just remember the lovely, fond memories you had with this person. Or people. It could be family that you're thinking of. Maybe someone who's not here any longer. But that's your assignment with this card today, is to think of some joyous times from the past and do some reminiscing. We're always talking about leaving the past in the past and moving forward. But in this case, I kind of want you to do some reminiscing and thinking about some of the blessings of the people the friends and the family that you have had in your past. And now we're going to turn over the iced coffee and knock over the Grimm's fairy tales. And we have another night. I think that's always so interesting. There are 78 cards in the deck. So how is it that we get two nights at the same time often? In the same card the very next day. I will publish a short video, I think it's like 10 minutes or something, of my process. It'll show me shuffling my cards. In fact, it'll show you shuffling these cards, in fact, because I just filmed it. Here we have the Knight of Rods. There's a little story that goes with this card. I'll try to go fast. When I was in labor, I have 4 daughters. I was in labor with one of them. It was my lengthiest labor. I think I'd been in labor at least a couple of days. After I had my first baby in the hospital, and it was so dangerous, they caused some severe problems with interventions. I started having my babies at home so I'd have less problems, and sure enough I did have less problems. However, I did have a longer labor this one time, and I began to hallucinate. I started seeing outside my window there were these little trees, and they were chinaberry trees. They had chinaberry leaves, and those leaves are these little almost round. They have little, almost heart-shaped, and like fat little round hearts. And they shimmer as the wind blows in the sun, and they had these little happy faces pop up on them. Because I was so exhausted, I was hallucinating. And that's what I see right here in this knight's cloak. I know they're probably not really little happy faces. I'm going to try to show them up real close. Or a pattern on his cloak, but that's what I think of when I see this knight. Bringing happiness to people, bringing hope, bringing his wand or his club or his stave or whatever you want to call that, the bastos, that is very much a symbol of an extension of self. extra tools, extra power. You have something to give. This knight gets up off his horse to help stand side by side with people and work with them as an equal rather than above them as royalty. So that's a very interesting card to have today. A very interesting message, I think, is that you are going to be the source of happiness for someone today. Bringing cheer. You may not be a very cheerful person, but that doesn't mean you can't do a little something to bring much happiness to someone. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I think every one of you being here today just brings me, you've fulfilled what you need to fulfill with your lesson with your card today. Now, I'm not going to tie, I will try to tie them together here at the end, but I find that when I'm trying to tie them together like a regular reading, it's coming up with non sequiturs when you're using your timestamps. So here at the end, I will say, if you're using all of the cards today, I would reminisce about someone in the past, realize your cycle with the moon today. Go ahead and step back, use your intuition, and move forward to help bring joy to someone's life today or help them in some way today. So if you're choosing all the cards, that is what I would tell you. And again, come see me on Instagram today. I'm getting ready to film that in just a bit here. So I hope you had a lovely time. I certainly did. I very much appreciate you. I am feeling much better today. And actually, a lot of that really does have to do with you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Until then, may God hold you in his heart.